Hey everybody, this is just a quick low-tech video to get a point across. Uh, it's not a point that I thought I would have to make, but anyway, I think it needs to be said. There have been a couple of individuals in the last about 2 weeks now who have contacted me with salacious bits of gossip or supposedly insider information about what's going on with Anita Sarkeesian and feminist frequency and all of that. Both of these people are long-standing viewers of my channel, and I happen to know that each one of them is, in their own way, neurodivergent. Being neurodivergent myself, being on the autism spectrum, I realize that things may not be immediately obvious or intuitively obvious. So, to the two of you, you don't need to reach out and apologize to me again. But I'm doing this for everybody else's benefit, so that I don't have to put up with this going forward. But I do not want to hear anything about or to do with Anita Sarkeesian or any of that. Don't send it to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want my mind changed. I don't want I don't want to be I don't want to or you're not going to change my mind, but I don't want you trying to change my mind. I don't want to be reminded of that or prodded back towards it. It's if I didn't, the reason I emphasize that both of these individuals that have done this are neurodivergent, the reason I say this is because if I didn't know that, I would be totally blown away that somebody would contact me in this manner at this point. And one of the things I'm trying to do better in terms of how I deal with people is when people get on my nerves or upset me in some way on the internet, I'm trying to stop and realize when they may just not be realizing the full implications of what they're saying. I did a video like this a few weeks ago where I was playing the acoustic guitar and singing, and it was just a funny song. It's called "Don't Ever Pet a Lobster." It was, or "Don't Ever Hug a Lobster." It was just trying to be funny, and I just put that. I didn't put any time into it because it was just me trying to be silly. Put it up there, and somebody commented and said, "Why are you using a video camera from 2007? Aren't you an aspiring filmmaker?" And I just said, "No, I'm not." And the person responded and said, "Okay, that's good. The Sarkeesian effect was not a great first effort, to be honest. Good luck with the music career." And I really don't think that individual realized the smack in the face that they were, the asinine smack in the face that they were giving me. It lacked the aggression of somebody that was trying to get under my skin, and just sounded like somebody that didn't comprehend what they were implying there. But it's like I felt like writing back to that person and saying, "Thanks. I was hoping I could, kick off my week by being reminded of the most embarrassing, humiliating failure of my entire life." And as far as the music career, I've been a professional musician since about for almost 20 years now. So, thanks. Anyway, but it's another example of that where I went off on somebody inappropriately is the famous thing where a guy messaged me and said, "Well, hey, and your music for the Sarkeesian effect's not very good, so I was thinking you could use these royalty-free sound loops that I found as the as the soundtrack instead." And I just said, "Fuck you." And he said, "Well, hey, I was a donor to the project." And I said, my famous response, "I don't care if you donated bone marrow, fuck you." And the thing is, I don't think that guy fully realized how insulting he was being with that. But that kind of thing, realizing that, trying to take the time to realize that there may be individuals who don't understand the profundity of what they're saying, and, forgive them for they know not what they ask. Anyway, I don't want to hear anything associated with Anita Sarkeesian ever again. I don't care what happens. I don't care what goes on. I don't want to hear it anymore. This was the most profoundly pitiful, miserable, pathetic embarrassment of a failure that I have ever gone through. And some of you are going to write in and say, well, gosh, Jordan, you really need to let this go. And if you write that to me, before you write that to me, stop and ask yourself, do you have any failure in your life as profound as what happened with the Sarkeesian effect? And if it is that profound, think about this. Are you publicly known for it? Is it the one and only thing that you're publicly known for? Until you have had a public failure as profound and embarrassing and gut-wrenching as the Sarkeesian effect, where the whole entire world points at you and laughs, and you have to you have to spend years coming to terms with the fact that a lot of that laughter was justified. Until you've had that, don't you ever fucking tell me what I need to let go of. I live in a shithole apartment with no money in the middle of a shithole part of town, trying desperately to make a decent living for myself. I have literally nothing in my life that excites me anymore. I don't know what I'm doing on this earth. I started when I was in high school, junior high school, deciding what I wanted to do with my life. Man, I decided that I was going to be selling books on the level of Stephen King and playing in a band on the level of Metallica. Not humble ambitions at all. And I went at it with all of the bravado and all of the intensity and all of the charisma and all of the passion, and I didn't realize that I never stopped to realize that I was on the Neil Breen, Tommy Wiseau level. And I get that now. And I think about this every single day. Literally, in my daily decisions. I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. In my daily decisions, I think, if the public knew about this, if the people that laughed at me because of the Sarkeesian effect knew about whatever decision I'm about to make, would they laugh at me again? Would they laugh at me for this? That's my decision-making process. So, anybody out there who, for whatever, I don't want to sound irritated, because, like I said, I know that a lot of the people who do say things like this are neurodivergent. They don't understand the magnitude of what they're saying, but I need you all to understand. I'm saying, if I didn't think that this was coming from longtime fans that thought they were doing the right thing, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't take the time to explain all of this at all. But I need you all to understand. What happened with that for me was that all of the what I thought was confidence got stripped away from me completely. And what I was left with was just, I don't know that I was left with anything. But the embarrassment of that time in my life, and the embarrassment of who I was at that time in my life haunts me day in and day out. And, Rick Warren, the pastor, said something interesting. He said, if you don't forgive yourself, it's a sin, because you're saying that what Jesus did on the cross was not good enough. And I think about that, and I see the wisdom in it, but I don't know. I don't know where the doorway out of this is. I would say that I'm a middle-aged has-been. I'm more like a never was. I don't know what my life is at this point. I don't know what I'm still doing alive. I don't know why I'm here. But for the love of God, if you can please understand that, please understand that I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I'm sorry that I got you all so fixated on this topic. There are better topics out there. Look, go look on right now. There is I just saw on the news that Moderna has created an HIV vaccine that has passed phase 1 clinical trials. That's the kind of thing you should be interested in and fascinated by. Commercial space exploration is something you should be interested in and fascinated by. Don't I don't want to hear this is not something I ever should have put my attention on. And I just I need you to understand that. To the people out there who may ever be inclined, don't do it. Don't send me anything about Anita Sarkeesian.